the opening to the remake, and I had a lot of thoughts on it, so I figured I'd share them with you here. If you have your own comments, your own thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. But yeah, so with that, I actually recommend, if you haven't seen this video yet, go watch it uninterrupted first. I'm going to be talking and sharing my comments as we go through it here. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back and watch this. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'll also say, obviously, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I played Final Fantasy VII when it first came out on the PlayStation, loved it, and I've played it several times since. I'll try to be spoiler free. I don't think there's much to spoil here, just in case some of you haven't watched it, haven't played it, or this will be your first time playing. But I will say, so obviously I'm comparing this to the original opening, and this is already completely different. The original opening starts with, kind of looking at the stars and then coming in to here to Midgar, and this is already incredibly different. Seeing Midgar during the day is so drastically different. I don't think in the entire game you see it during the day actually, and this whole perspective changes what Midgar looks like, what it feels like. There's a lot of comparisons being made here. You see the interaction. You see the dry desert around the city. You see the people prospering ish. You see again, it focuses here on the dead plants, the dead grass and flowers there, and then it comes to here, and you see that direct association to the power. So the lights are coming on, and then they're looking straight to the reactor. So this whole piece is making that connection for you right out of the get-go, kind of setting things up. Now this, very good transition actually. This is more in line with kind of like what you see in the beginning in the original. And there's the change in music. So now this is matching up with the original. I kind of like that. They come in to this scene versus just opening up to seeing Aerith's face. And with everything they did prior to this, you have a better feel for what this is. That's for what this pipe is leaking. And I'm always stunned by the graphics I've seen in all of these videos. It's been amazing. See, and with everything they showed you prior to this piece here now, it kind of adds weight to the fact that, she has flowers. You don't really see that up until now. You see everything, all the nature is pretty much dead. And the way that she's carrying it and cares for it after it was stepped on, it adds to that effect. Probably things I missed as a kid, because I was a kid when this came out. I believe I was 8 years old or something like that. But yeah, I think the addition in the first part of this really kind of helps connect that together. I love this shot, and especially as they pan out to this whole city. This right here, actually, I would stop this and make this a piece of art on my wall. I'm actually looking for that. So if you know of anyone who sells a nice piece of like that, you can put that in the comments below too. I love this, and I thought this was so cool, the switching back and forth between the train as they're zooming in originally, and even now, just done beautifully. Slight change here. same general idea, but they're looking away from each other here, and you see it doesn't really, one doesn't see what happens to the other. But this is very accurate, actually, to the original. Biggs comes out first, knocks one of them out. Then Jesse actually kicks the second one, even in the original, and then Wedge jumps out. So they're very, very faithful to the original in this. And then Barrett,
Get down here, Merc.
you hear him say it now. They didn't do that in the original, but he makes that same gesture to call Cloud down. I also want to say, in just all the pieces that I've seen, I love the interactions between Barrett and Cloud. It really drives home that relationship that they had in the beginning. All in all, I thought that was very awesome. I'm super excited. I get more excited every time I see something like this, and it's really good. It's really interesting too, though. That piece with Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge kind of being flushed out a little bit more and kind of building up the anticipation a little bit. The piece added at the beginning, I think this is all kind of foretelling of what the game's going to be like. I think they have the added piece. They had the pieces that were very faithful to the original, and then they expanded on a little bit on the original with the three characters I just mentioned, Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge, which I think is kind of foretelling into the game. The game is going to have some added elements. It's going to be very faithful to the original, and it's going to expand on some pieces there. So I think it's a great opening. It kind of sets you up. And the one thing I think is a little jarring is that the stark contrast between that first added piece and the original. Now, I can't tell if that's me because I know the original so well and I love it, and so I can tell where things have changed, and I'm like, oh, okay. And because of that moment, I kind of get jarred and kind of taken aback. Or if that's just because of the juxtaposition in that, the first part, it's during the day and you have Midgar and it shows it in a completely different light. And then you get Midgar at night and then you kind of get everything that you're already expecting. I hope that doesn't, I'm interested. I want to see how that translates when actually playing the game, as to, if the pieces that are added are juxtaposed to the original content, or if that's just kind of my takeaway from the intro here. I could be reading too much into it. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. Let's have this discussion. I love talking about Final Fantasy, and I think that I'm just excited for the game to come out. But yeah, with that, hope you all had fun.